Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Number. It has been quite a long time since we've had an episode, and we have a few changes that have been made since the last. Obviously, Carlina Sample is no longer sitting down with us. We love her, but she is now on to her new phase of life, adulthood, and working, and all the fun stuff. So, very excited to introduce you guys to the new co-host of Behind the Number, Carter Bajoit. If you've ever watched Texas A&M United, you know exactly who he is. But instead of all the track talk today, we're just going to get to know Carter a little bit better so you guys can put more of an understanding and in-depth knowledge to who Carter Bajoit is. But so excited to have you here. So excited for this new journey of Behind the Number.
Exciting.
Yes, can't wait. And also, just random little tidbit. Carter and I go way back. We've rehabbed together our knees, different injuries, but we've been through the trenches together.
Yes.
So it's so fun being on this side of things.
We have made it out, yeah.
We've made it out. But goodness, Carter. Okay, so let's just kind of start with the good old basic questions and give us an idea of where you are from and some background on that.
Okay, so thank you, Allie. Yep, like you said, my name is Carter Bajoit. I am from Houston, but kind of a little more than that. I was born in South Carolina, moved to France when I was 4, then stayed there for a few years, and then moved back to South Carolina, same spot, and then moved to Houston for before high school. And then from Houston, came up here.
Been all over the map a little bit. The adventurous spirit kind of lives on through that.
That's right.
But for you, I mean, you came to A&M. You're on the track and field team here.
Yeah.
High jumper. What brought you to A&M? What stood out about it here that made you want to come here?
So a few things stood out when I was looking at different schools, like from the rest, and they've all proven pretty strong, with my time here. But I would say, honestly, I had the great privilege of visiting multiple schools, and I didn't know much. None of my family went to A&M, and I wasn't, not from Texas, so it wasn't like I was a UT household or A&M household. So
which is the norm.
True, yeah. So I didn't know too much. So I was kind of walking in, open-minded, trying to see every school for what it was. On the weekend you get there, basically. And so I was blessed to be able to come up here a few times, have some friends come up here. And I saw a little bit more of A&M than I did of other schools. And every time I came up here, I was just learning something cool about it, learning something new. And then as I went to other schools, I didn't know what it was yet about this place. Now I do for sure, but I didn't know at the time. But it just, you get that feeling. I was like, this is probably where I need to be. So, yeah, so I just had that feeling, and there was obviously some things like great facilities, awesome coaches, awesome people, but the untapped stuff I hadn't found yet. I couldn't be more thankful for that decision for sure. So.
That's what I was gonna say. You actually mentioned something maybe a couple weeks ago, and you're like, I actually really love it in College Station.
Oh yeah, I love this.
What
place.
is it that you love so much about it here?
Honestly, I think as athletes, we have a little different experience because we go to different places and then come back here. But I have found this, like, for example, with that, this has been an awesome place to come back to, I feel like. So whether we go to a big city or a different country, whatever, I have so much, I just find so much comfort just coming back to College Station. Just it's a little bit slower paced, I feel like, than being in a city or whatever, which is fun as well. But this is a good place to get work done, I feel like, to have, like-minded people. And it's big enough where there's a lot going on, but most of the stuff going on is the school or the people that, make this place great. So it's just like, basically, if you're busy around here, it's going to be something fun or good, I feel like. And so, that's just what it's been. I like the local vibe where it's like people have been here forever doing stuff, restaurants or coffee shops, whatever. And then there's new age stuff that comes with the school, or as the world moves, it does too a little bit. So it's kind of a good mix, but I do love it here.
And it definitely is different when it comes to being an athlete, obviously, because there are so many portions of your day that are set aside for your sport.
Yeah.
So when it comes to outside of that, it really is up to you to go adventure and figure out what that normal looks like.
Yeah, that's up to us to go see. So there's a lot to see here too, even if it's small.
See, I'm like, clearly you know more than me.
Well, I just people have put me on, people on our team, People around here, they're like, oh, you need to go to this place. I'm like, I'll go try it.
Yeah,
And
I'm like,
then
maybe
I can
some behind the
share it
number
with
episodes,
somebody.
other places.
We could go find somewhere else. Yep.
Yeah. And for you, I mean, when it came to things that you kind of expected out of your career here before coming, has that looked the same or has it looked different than what you were expecting?
To be honest, I think as I matured through freshman year and learned a lot of stuff to do differently, I came to the realization of not really having expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I think through high school, obviously starting track, I got pretty solid fast, and it was like, oh my gosh, let's go to college and win a national championship. Let's go do this. And then you get there and it's like, all right, like it's all there. It's all possible, and that will happen. It's just a process, and it's a little bit differently than you can plan it. And you're not the one with the plan anyway, so you might as well do your part, but then sit back and then take it as it comes. So I think expectation-wise, at least as of recently, maybe the past few years, not trying to have more of those and more of the, am I prepared for when something comes, and then let that be what it is. So that's kind of, but expectation-wise, if I had any in high school, it blew them away.
Yes.
It's been a blessing to be here. So. It's probably blown everything I had
out of the water.
Store away. Yeah.
And obviously when it comes to that unexpected piece, things that you can't prepare for.
Yeah.
Some of those instances just so happen to be the adversity side of things, which you and I have definitely, we have our experience in, and I think we can have a lot of understanding and empathy for one another in that way.
No doubt.
But for you, I mean, obviously I was just one of the people looking in at you when you were going through your injury. And I'm sure that was a big adversity for you while being here. So kind of run us through what happened and what that looked like for you.
Yeah, so I broke my knee. Well, so I did a bunch of stuff in my knee. That was just, every time I get hurt, it's like always a doctor saying, oh, we've never seen this. I'm like, well, I would love to stop
I'm a rare
hearing
breed.
that. Yeah, like I would love to stop hearing that. But so I broke my femur pretty badly in high school. It was pretty messed up. I was like in a wheelchair for a while. Had a little interesting experience in high school with that. But so my knee's always a little behind on the left side. And so I don't know if that messed something up and that, this just caused again at practice one day. But I guess, 2 falls ago.
Yeah, I know, it's been a while.
2 fall semesters ago. Broke my knee, broke meniscus off, moved ACL, did a bunch of random stuff at practice, just unexpectedly. In the
warm-up,
too. Yeah, in the warm-up.
I feel like the most unique part of your story.
Which is so...
I think that just rarely ever happens.
Yeah, it does. And I just know I'd be the one to do it. But, so I don't know what's up with my joints, but I dislocate my knees a good amount. The past few years, and apparently every time I was doing that and popping it back in, I'm tearing my meniscus. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so that was a big part of it.
Yeah, so I've been doing that multiple times apparently, and then so I just swung it the right way in warm-ups, and then it all just went off.
I did not know that part.
So they told me when they did the surgery, they're like, your meniscus has been torn for quite some time. I'm like, okay.
But it just so did enough to where it was worse than
nothing could hold it anymore apparently. So that's what happened in the fall. And then the hardest part was just the unexpected. Obviously, nobody's ever preparing for a specific day you're going to get hurt. That's cool. So, but, I was starting to, my relationship with God had been getting better through college each and every year. And so I was starting to really just be at a point where, this is not my idea of what's supposed to happen. I was coming off a pretty solid sophomore year. But it was the exciting part was okay, what I could build off, with that. And so I was just looking forward to that season. But, that wasn't my, that's not the plan. So it was okay. Yeah. And so I think I was doing as good as a job as I think I could have at the time with just being this is the reality. This is what's good. This is what's supposed to happen. Cool. The hard part was just the reality of day to day, missing a lot of class, laying in bed, and it was, it's super hot outside at this time. I'm going up my stairs in the crutches. I'm sweating. I'm I can't shower. It's just that, the little stuff that just, it was just annoying, which I'm sure you felt every bit of. So
definitely.
So, but it was okay. It was okay. It was what's supposed to happen. And I just tried to take it as that. There was definitely some bad days. Obviously, I don't want to make it sound like I was just, smiles all day. That's not the case, but that's okay.
That's okay too.
That was the yeah, that was the reality. But the recovery was kind of, because it was so weird of an injury. The recovery was like, we think 4 to 5, 6 months, maybe no track season.
Yeah.
And then I remember talking to my coach and Sherry.
Good old Sherry.
The GOAT. So
shout out to Sherry all the time.
Shout out to Sherry for real. I got to every day shout out
every
Sherry.
time.
Every time I see
She's
her,
the
I
best.
just got to give her a hug.
Yeah.
But honestly, that timeline didn't work for me. I was not okay with missing a year of track.
Yeah.
So my new goal just became, after I'll have to miss indoor season, because the way track works is January to March basically is indoor, its own unique season. Then outdoors, its respective season, March to June, which we're in right now. And so this was last year, and I'm just like, all right, outdoor it is. No indoors, fine, but I'm not gonna miss the whole year. So then that became my goal. And then I got to see some sparks of light through that, and have basically a goal. And so the adversity of it was kind of shadowed by how just set on getting back I was, which I was thankful for. But like I said, picking A&M, showing that it was a great place throughout my years. This was a time it really spoke when I was like,
definitely,
with the people around me and stuff.
Definitely. And it really, like, the mental and the physical piece, I mean, they're both there, but I'll say this and go down saying this, that it truly is like 90% mental, 10% physical, if not more mental than that. And it really was, I think, hindsight 2020, it's so easy to look back and be so grateful for stuff. But at least in the time for me, and I feel like even with what you're speaking, like similar mentality, I was really day by day. Like each day there was something I could look at being thankful for that right before my injury, I never would have. Like even you were on crutches, so you understand. When I was on crutches, the moment I got off and was like walking again, I'm like, whoa,
this is fun.
This is so, this is amazing. And you almost like in certain things, even running, you have to like retrain your brain to do it. But things like that, you never thought that you would be grateful for again. And it's not to say that our injuries were these worst thing to ever happen kind of things, but in like perspective to our own lives, and I know speaking for myself, that was the hardest thing I definitely had to go through. Even, of course, you can come to more of an understanding of things when you're older and like the depth of
looking
them.
back.
Yeah,
but
looking
no, you're
back.
right. It changes your plan, and that's hard sometimes. But
it's all for the better.
Right, because like you said, it taught you stuff. Maybe you would have, you got to look at things differently. Sometimes you got to go through that to see that.
Yes.
But yeah, that was tough, but you know how,
Yeah,
you know
and something kind of cool too, and I'll go off of like my experience. The people listening have heard about my injury now for plenty of episodes. But something to this time period in my life that I can look back on, it's been over a year at this point, and I was so confused as to why. I feel like so many people have that. Why, not victim mentality kind of thing, but it is like, why did it happen to me? Why at this time? And for a long time, I didn't understand senior year, like how to cope and understand that, and closing off my chapter of soccer. But looking at it now, I feel like I had a head start to healing what soccer was in my life for so long, that when it came down to time where everyone else had to say goodbye to it, I was already in a place where I was okay with it and I was content. And that in itself, I'm like, I look at that as being a really big blessing in my life.
The timing was perfect.
Yeah. Something I've been able to recognize the older I've gotten.
After it happened.
After it happened. Yeah. But anyways, obviously, I mean, you and I definitely saw each other go through a lot of those things and a lot of the day to day. But also I think it's really cool because you have such a deeper understanding of people as individuals and like for who they are and things like that. And I think it's really cool. And that's what I think is so special about being able to do this together, honestly.
Yeah, no doubt.
Is
this
it like,
good.
It really is like kind of a little full circle.
Yeah, this is cool.
Moment.
Yeah,
I love it. Good. But let's kind of go a little bit more into track. For you, I know things about you personally that you have goals for. Yeah. Other people don't. Yeah. So give an idea of what you're hoping to achieve with track.
So I would say, we got SECs next week, then regionals and nationals. So this is the big dance of the year. This is the big time of year. So short-term goals, win SECs, win nationals, and then, see what happens. There's an Olympics this summer. I'd say I put myself in a solid position. But yeah, these next few weeks are pretty crucial. So since I would go for Team Belgium, because I have dual citizenship. So I would go for Team Belgium. There's not a trials like so for the U.S. I'm sure you're familiar, but you make you qualify for the U.S. Olympic trials. You go there, battle it out with the other people that qualified, and then top 3 basically at the trials gets a spot. But in Belgium, since it's a smaller country, there's not 10 guys running this and 100 that need to be fighting it out for the spots. It's a smaller, population size, so smaller pot to pick from basically. And so basically they would just pick me or, so I'm in a process now of declaring for Belgium. So then I actually get into their room of people they can pick basically. Cool. Yeah. So
that will be a whole nother story in itself.
So we'll see
when the time comes around.
Yep. So we'll see what that turns into. So if that process can get squared away before this summer's Olympics, cool. If not, be at the next one.
Yeah, 4 more years. Yeah. We'll go. And we'll start the countdown.
We'll keep going. But there's this year's been a blessing. It's finally been in to the body and the shape and the high jumper I've been waiting to be in since I got hurt basically. And so it's been a blessing, but it's been fun. So if I can just continue that and put myself in a good position, maybe if it's this summer, it's this summer. Mm-hmm. If not, World Championships next summer. Like there's always gonna be something to have a direction towards. So if that whatever comes from that, I'm gonna just take that and then and run with that. But the guaranteed are SEC regionals.
Heck
and then nationals if you go at regionals.
Yeah.
But so that's the goal. But honestly, speaking for my team, I think we could win nationals as a team.
Hoping so.
So yeah, so we have team goals as well. Our individual
love the hardware.
goals.
We need some of that hardware.
Oh yeah, we got to get some more rings.
Yeah.
so that's the plan. I do think if we all continue to do what we're doing, we'll be in a good position. But my goal, honestly, that stuff will come. My goal is to just keep enjoying high jump and just being with my friends and watching them succeed. That's just as big. Mm-hmm. So, once you have that and everybody's thinking like that, then you start turning up on different sides of the track and then you're put together something nice. So
exactly,
that's the goal. Just to enjoy.
One day at a time.
I'm literally jumping over a bar. Yeah. Like, it's not supposed to be that complicated. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, when you think about the height of it, though, then that becomes a little different.
Fair, but just the act of it, I don't need to find myself making it too big.
Yeah.
Cool stuff comes from it. It's such a blessing, but,
It's not every aspect of who you are.
Yeah, it needs to just be something I go out there and do, work hard for it, and enjoy.
Yeah.
And obviously that's easier said than done. But yeah.
Yeah, and when it comes to like so much of your own personal experience and obviously with the adversities that you have had, it makes these times like sweeter.
Oh yeah.
And I think that is probably any athlete, person, individual who's gone through anything. The times like
get through it,
Yeah, they're so much sweeter. But I mean, for you and your perspective, how important do you feel like it is for people who, it's so common that fans of A&M, fans of sports in general, there's so much hyperfixation on the success that athletes have and getting to know like, game by game, play by play, and just all of the things that are what meets the eye when you're watching.
On a TV
but there's
screen.
there's so much more depth to that. So how important do you feel like it is for people to just get an understanding of who an athlete is as an individual and things that they've gone through and what's their why and things like that, rather than just the on the field success?
I mean, it's extremely important. I think to add to that, it's extremely important as the athlete to do that for yourself. Mm-hmm. Not just to know, I think step one is the athlete to know, who am I more than a sport, right? Because you are, like, you need to know that. And then what is that? Mm-hmm. And then obviously people watching, whether it be patience for people or, you just not have a certain expectation, but you just have to have the, I think, ability to understand that there is way more to what you see, and if you have the chance to sit down with that person and understand that, cool. But if not, understand that you may not know it, but it's still there. Mm-hmm. So it's just important. I think that's what's been cool about being able to, have the blessing of being involved in a sport. You get to see an in-depth level. Like, I get to know you, I get to know my teammates on that level, which is really cool. But even if you don't get the opportunity, that level doesn't not exist. Like, it's still there. You just have to know. You may not know it, but go seek it. People will share their stories with you. And you'll see, I think maybe like I know personally, like track is something I spend a majority of my time doing, but it's not, it's a majority of what I am and who I am right now, but it's not.
It's not who you are
It's
at your
not
core.
fully, yeah, because there's so much stuff that I'm trying to do outside of the track that that is taking up time too, doing this, doing that, and yeah, you may not see that on TV or whatever, but yeah, I think it's cool that everybody has that too. Like everybody has their things they're doing outside of their sport, their other goals, their relationships, their friendships, the things that you may not see, and it's cool. Like people are very, very unique, and that's what A&M's been cool is. Not only does everybody have their own story, but like people have some sweet stories. Like, and to sit down with people and get to know them is such a privilege. Cool. Yeah.
That has truly been like my favorite part of doing these episodes.
Yeah.
And especially when Carl and I started, we were still technically in the athletic world and we're still athletes here.
You still are. You can still claim it.
Yeah, I've been there, but no longer, I guess, in the mix of it all. But when we started, we had so much more of a like familiarity with people who were in the athletic world and played different sports here, but never actually got to know some people until they came and sat down here. And it was so cool, even for us, like we've known their name, we've seen them around in Slocum, wherever it was, but actually having them come sit here and get to know things so much deeper, I mean, that has hands down been the best part of this segment, or whatever you would call this podcast. But yeah, it's been so cool. And I mean, to kind of keep going off of that idea of things being more than just the sport. Yeah. It can be difficult to pair memories and fun things with it not being specifically, at least for you, to track and field. Yeah. But when you look at your time at A&M so far, I mean, what are some of your favorite memories that you do have here? Maybe it's up at the stadium.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
honestly, just time with my homies. Like, goodness, we just have a good time. Like, we have a track house, we have a yard, we have fires, we throw football, like do just chill stuff, and just a lot of
enjoy
it.
each other.
We just enjoy the time. Yeah.
Like, you guys definitely do.
Yeah. Like, we just have a good time. Yeah, I'm very, very thankful for that group of guys to just to have the comfort in knowing, regardless of what the day looks like, I can walk in this door and we will have a good time. Yeah. We will just be able to sit, play Mario Kart, chill, have a fire, have people over, whatever it may entail. That being consistent has been pretty important. But so memories with them every day, honestly, just laughing until you can't, just good memories. But like ones that I could really point out, like Puerto Rico this year was pretty out of this world.
Well, definitely, at least for you.
Yeah, well, the athletic part was super cool. Yeah. But even if the meet didn't go like that, that was just a cherry on top of an already pretty good looking week. Because I'm a very big fan of the beach and surfing and chilling and whatever. So
got your fair share of that.
Yeah, so from the day we got there, I think we got there probably pretty late, straight to the beach. So to be able to take that group of guys and we'll put us on a beach, there's not much else you needed.
Heightened.
There was not much else we needed. So chilling on the beach.
You guys do a lot of traveling for track.
Yeah, we do. And it makes, so it's a lot, but like I said, with those guys, it's so fun. It's fun with your friends. So just that's a big blessing to have those guys and just a team too. So we're friends outside of the track. But I think Puerto Rico, just spending the week basically on a business trip for sure, but vacation.
A business trip on the beach. I don't think anyone could complain or find a downfall.
So it was good. So that week as a whole was very, very awesome. But I would say, I mean, there's just a lot of nights here, just like the Legacy Awards, hanging out after with all the athletes, or just any days we had like our ring dunk, just little stuff that we do like at A&M or with A&M that just ends up being fun. Really goes back to the people. Yeah. Is that the
things
stuff
you
we
will
do.
Never forget.
The people just bring it to a whole different level that we meet here, and that's what's been cool. Just getting to know everybody here. The people just make these memories just fun. Yeah. So.
And hobbies wise, I mean, you've kind of mentioned it. The homies. You love hanging with the homies.
That's a good hobby.
On top of that, obviously, I know that you love coffee. I picked that up pretty soon, so we can Also know that you're a big coffee connoisseur,
Yeah.
but what's more to the hobbies that you love than those things?
I would say at this stage of my life, anytime my roommate Kirk and I like to travel, anytime we can, because obviously traveling for track is different than traveling just traveling, because you go there with a purpose, and it can't be a vacation. You know, that's not the point of the trip. So you go in a little bit different mindset. So I like, just adventuring, exploring right now, any chance we get, more in the fall semester, out of season, just kind of saying yes to things, or saying yes to things I'm even thinking, like, just do it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do, we try to do as much as we can in this time, without it being too much, which it sometimes is maybe, but
That's
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Making the most of it.
Yeah. So I'd say a lot of that, like, my hobbies are encompassed into, like, just adventuring, and then little stuff involved
Trickles
in that.
into
Yeah,
it.
like going to try this place, but whatever. Just exploring, but
I feel like that word explore or adventure fits you perfectly.
That'll work. So
fits you perfectly.
But I like to read, I like to chill, I like to longboard. Not during season because my coach says I can't. So just kind of stuff that just is at a chiller level, considering our life is so fast right now and stuff. So anything that can just kind of bring it down a notch is kind of what I find myself doing. In the summer, it picks up a little bit more. But anything outdoors, anything, doing whatever. I guess that was a pretty broad answer, but
that's okay.
Basically,
it is all under the umbrella of adventure. Which makes a lot of sense.
Boom.
But I mean, lastly, I was telling you how Carlina, she used to always ask people, this was her.
Oh, yeah.
This is her role. On top of a lot more, obviously. But she would ask people to come up with a cheesy tagline that encompassed what their time at A&M has looked like. So for you, what would your cheesy tagline to your time at A&M be?
So I told you I sent it to my friend Dak, and he made fun of me because the way you take it, I could see where he was coming from. But I read this in a book or something a few weeks ago, and I wrote it on my mirror too, so I've been looking at it. But it says, how you spend your days is how you spend your life. So I sent it to Dak, and he was like, duh, like, which I get, like, obviously, the way you spend your days.
But there's more depth to it.
Yeah, like, what I take from that, it is cheesy, that's cool, but what I take from that is, like, seriously though, how you spend your days, the way your days are formed, the way you execute on your days and take care of what you want to take care of, like, that'll reflect in your life. Maybe it's reflection when you look back, maybe that's when it is. But the days that you spend, or the weeks that you spend, that's what your year is going to look like. That's what your life or your time in college is going to look like. The days that may seem kind of insignificant into the big picture, like, those lined up are not insignificant. So I think that at least on a deeper level ties back to me. Like, I take that as, like, every day is pretty important.
Yeah, very valuable.
You got to make some stuff happen. So then as it stacks up over time, you have a pretty solid year, or you have a consistent year. You have this, you have that. So I know Dak said duh, which makes sense. Shout out Dak.
No, but there's so much depth to it.
Yeah, I would say, the consistency of your days, the things you do in your days is going to reflect into the consistency of your years, the consistency of your life.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be. So I've been thinking about that recently. That one stuck with me. So
love it. Yeah. Well, good. Yay. So excited and so happy
this is fun.
that you are sitting down here as the new co-host. Can't wait to get this thing rolling.
Next episode, we got to talk more about you because that was way too much about me.
No.
Okay.
No. They know enough.
All right, we'll trickle
They know enough.
in.
And with time, they continue to learn more.
Also, is this TexAgs coffee?
Yeah.
It's just pretty solid.
Yeah, well, hey guys.
There will be a bag missing.
That is, oh gosh. But no, we will have another episode soon.
Yes, soon.
We're going to keep the guest secret, but you know who he is.
All right. He or she.
You guys will be you know who he is.
I was trying to keep it secret.
Okay. You guys are going to be very excited though.
Yeah, great.
Will be joining us.
Great guy.
Yeah, great person.
Great secret guy.
And he's doing amazing things right now.
You will learn he's awesome.
And that will be coming soon, so stay tuned. But Carter, thanks so much for joining us today.
Boom.
Can't wait. So excited. And guys, so happy that you guys got to know Carter a little bit more. You'll be seeing him much, much more. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Behind the Number. We will see you on the very secret next episode.
Later.